up, you guys? We are here with our weekly Real Housewives of Potomac interview panel, or review panel, not interview, but our review panel. And today we have a special guest. We have Tisa Tells joining us. What's up, Tisa?
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Tisa is reporting live from the jungle.
I fled the U.S. like Simon Gabodia. I'm doing recon in Costa Rica.
Yes,
so.
yes. And of course, we have the Kempire. What's up, Kempire?
Hey.
Yeah, Kempire's back in the States.
I
And
know.
we have, we have the beautiful Grace report. What's up, Grace?
Hey, I'm so excited, you guys, but so sad the finale. It was such a good season.
It was a really good season. I felt like they started out the season. Remember the promo for the season had Nicki Minaj's song, like Moment for Life.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's only fitting, that she's going to be hosting the reunion. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm glad the season has come to an end. It's been a good season, and I'm glad that it's wrapping up. But
Well,
what
their
did y'all
highest rated season too?
say? What'd you say?
Their highest rated season.
Oh, was it? Was it? I wonder why that was.
No, that's
It was even
awesome.
higher than last season?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Why do you think that
last season.
was?
I think more people are getting to know it. I think based off of last season and everything that went down there, more people had their eyes on it, and more other franchises are talking about Potomac. I think that helped as well, especially also with the failing of other cities. They're like, okay, let's see what Potomac is going to bring.
Yeah, maybe so.
I do think also Nikki gave them a big push too. A lot of people that don't really watch reality TV, because the Barbs, they come in full force.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at their ratings early on, they were a little bit lower. And I remember the only reason I remember seeing Monique's Twitter where she was cackling about it, right? So I do think that the Barbs jumping in really gave the end of the season a nice push.
Maybe. It might have been like skewed high towards the end because Nikki was telling her Barb, she was like, watch it. So when I'm on the reunion, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe that was it. But this episode centered around Ray and Karen and their vow renewal, which is really I guess really special. It was really special. Whenever I see them, like I still think back to like last season when he wouldn't tell her I love you. That kind of like bothered me, but
Uh-oh.
Oh. It's a
That was my Wi-Fi.
There we go.
hopefully y'all can still see us. Everybody in the comments, can y'all see and hear us? Put a 1 in the chat. If you can both see and hear us, put a 1 in the chat. But I think we're back.
Yeah.
I think we're back. Yeah.
Damn StreamYard.
So the episode started off with Ashley and Robyn and Gizelle and Juan kind of meeting up and having a little date, a little double date. And what did y'all think? The dynamic between Juan and Mike is really interesting. What do y'all think about that dynamic?
I love it. So cute.
I gave Juan, and Grace, I gave Juan a little thing where I said, Michael thinks Juan is his best friend. Juan doesn't think much of Michael, but on this episode, I literally changed my mind. Listen, Juan is a man, right? But I feel like Juan looks at Michael like he's a good connection to have. He can invest in real estate. He can help in real estate. Michael has a lot of money. Michael clearly has some type of attraction to Juan. And I feel like Juan doesn't dissuade it because he thinks that Michael might be a good connection to have. I don't know why. I feel like he's teasing him. I feel like he's encouraging a little bit, the way.
So you think it's financial? You think it's financial?
I think it's financial because let me tell you something. Even with Juan and Michael's personalities, I just don't even see the nexus of their friendship. Michael is very, I guess he keeps saying it's Aussie, outback humor. There's just a humor that Juan's always looking at him in early episodes like, what are you doing? But now he cackles alone. He encourages, me and you boys trip. They caught an Uber home together. I mean, what's more friendship than catching an Uber? So...
Listen, somebody said, hey, Auntie Layla. Okay. I've been an auntie since I was like 19, so I guess I shouldn't be offended. But hey, Auntie Layla, looking good. Did you ever find out what Mia's mom did get locked up for? No, I decided not to look. We talked about that before Because we were talking about, like, it seems like Mia's mom was in jail like a long time, and
Mhm.
maybe it was like during that era of the mandatory minimums. It seemed like maybe she was over sentenced, and so I said I was going to look it up. But then when all this drama happened, and Mia was talking about her mom relapsing and stuff like that, I was like, I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to do a video. I'm gonna just
I'm sure
let it
they'll
go.
share it for next season.
Yeah.
Probably so.
I'd like to see Mia share her journey, because Mia had abuse problems. And she completely kept it off the show, or maybe the producers cut it out. But I'd like to see her journey of how she, got clean, but also used her chiropractor business to do it. I think that would be a great storyline.
Yeah, because there's this video on YouTube where she hints at it. It's like an interview where she's talking about her franchise, like the chiropractic stuff.
Yeah.
And she talks about that she was hey Lori. She talks about how she was addicted, I believe, to meth. And she talks about how, I want to say
she said an opioid, so she didn't get into the specific, but she said an opioid.
Right. And meth is an opioid, right?
I think it is.
Don't get me telling nothing. I don't know.
I got another super chat. I can't really click on it. I can't find it to click on it, but I just want to say thank you, Rim. It's £8.99. Love the panel. My favorite people. Tisa, I've been following you since you started 6 months ago.
Hey, Rim. Thank you.
I'm still trying to click on it. Okay, here it is. Thank you, Rim. Thank you for the super chat. It is definitely appreciated. Yeah, so in that conversation, we also saw Robyn kind of mention to them how Juan was as a parent, like when both of her children were young, like basically in Pampers or in diapers. She talks about, and she asked Juan, did he ever change a diaper? And he kind of gets upset. But what did y'all think about her asking that, in that moment on camera? And we'll start with you, Grace. What did you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like she was, but Juan deserves it, but she was throwing him under the bus, but he deserves it. The way she went in on him a little bit there. Yeah, it was true. And I think she does have the right to kind of seek guidance on other couples and see if her dynamic that she had with Juan 13 years ago, raising the children by herself, is normal. Like, because Juan was away for the NBA. Michael, he's got like a big business, a multi-million-dollar business. So she's wondering, is this just a rich guy thing maybe? And she's trying to see. I don't know. Yeah.
I see you rolling your head around.
I thought it was interesting that she brought it up so many times in this episode, and it seems as if they're both are not on the same page when it comes to her storyline. And again, it's another hint that that Juan is not staying at the home, so that there's a lack of communication. So I don't know why she kept on bringing it up. I mean, I believe it did happen where he wasn't as supportive back then, but he's not appreciating that. And we see later on in the episode, he gets annoyed by it. Like, why do you keep bringing this up? I'm not that man anymore.
So do you think she's switching it up on him? Because you mentioned their storyline. You would think they would talk to each other and say, okay, this is what we're going to talk about on camera. Do you think she's surprising him on camera by bringing that up?
It seems as if that's the case, because his response seems very authentic. Like, what?
Yeah. Tisa, what do you think?
He called her out so hard a couple of weeks ago, right? The whole, you sleep in until 2 p.m., you're lazy, you're unattractive. So I think, he earned himself
He hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Remember, she leaned into that storyline too. So she didn't look shocked when he brought that up.
Yeah. But he definitely looked shocked. What did you think about that, Tisa?
Honestly, it made me sad because, listen, we all know it's a storyline. We all know it's fourth walls. We all know all the couples have talks before, like, come on, I'm going to say your mom's ugly and you're going to say my dad's a bum. Let's do this, So I expect a little bit of fakery, but it shocked me the way, to Kim Byer and Grace's report, this is your storyline. She wasn't saying anything inflammatory. She didn't say, you left me alone and the babies were crying for you out the window and they didn't see you for a week. She literally said, you didn't help change diapers and I will want. And the fact that Juan has such little patience, it really lets me know the dynamics of the relationship haven't changed much. And they're not married. And Karen keeps pushing that button. But it made me think Robyn would get married tomorrow if Juan said, come on, let's go to Vegas. It just made me realize not much has changed in their relationships. And he still acts like he's the prize. She's on thin ice and she better work hard to be attractive to this. I mean, granted, it was just like, Juan, are you kidding me? But it made me a little sad because, again, this is what your storyline is. Her calling you out and saying you have to help me change nappies. And he's flipping out on her. Even in the restaurant, the way Juan and Michael, in the picture you put up, the way it sat still, and they're both giving Robyn a side eye. And it made me realize that last year when Michael was like, listen, Juan is not asking her to marry him. Back then I thought it was Michael talking trash, but now that I see they really are really good friends, I'm like, yeah, y'all are having side conversations. And
Right.
Michael knows more than he's saying, you know?
Right. And if you look back, they did a flashback. Let me see, did I get the screenshot? They did a flashback to, this was Robyn and Juan,
So funny.
the engagement party. But if you listen to what Juan was saying in this moment, he was saying, I'm going to always be loyal to you. He was telling Michael, I'm going to always be loyal to you. So they definitely have something going on. And maybe it's the money. Maybe you're right, Tisa. Maybe it's the money. I feel like I've always felt like Juan is flattered by Michael having a crush on him. I've always thought he was flattered.
How do you guys think he and Michael felt about Robyn's little side dig? The whole, like, do people think you're the baby's grandpa? I was like, what?
Listen, she knows who her competition is, and she's taking little digs, right?
Yeah, that was a lot.
Like, not yet.
Yeah, he looked like he never heard that. But I mean, he had to have heard that.
He had to.
Yeah, he had to have heard
People have
that.
definitely thought it and didn't say it to him. It's also a pandemic, so you're not out and about intermingling like
Yeah.
you used to.
So people are probably not saying it to his face. Yeah, but Robyn.
But here's the funny thing. It's like when you see a very young mother and a baby, when people say, oh, they stop you on the street. Oh, your little sister, your little brother's so cute. Why wouldn't just strangers stopping the kids be like, oh, you know, your grandkid's so cute? Because he does look geriatric.
Yeah.
There's just no way that you think that's his kid. I mean, at least I did. When Ashley was having her fertility journey and she was going wearing socks and rubbing her belly. And I was like, or could it be the 70-year-old laying in your bed? Maybe he should be wearing the socks and rubbing his belly. But, you know, that was just my opinion.
I digress. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So in the next scene,
oh,
we
God.
have Candiace signing her deal. She has a distribution deal with E1, which Kempire, I kind of wanted to talk to you about because, you know, you've been in the music industry. Can you explain like E1 and their position? Because I see a lot of musicians mention that they're signed to E1.
Yeah, and when I went live last night, a lot of people were like, I've never heard of E1, but I've heard of E1 for many, many years. And they don't just deal with music, they deal with television and a variety of other things. And a lot of major artists have moved from those record labels that we know and love to E1. So E1 has a huge roster of artists that they've compiled over the last few years. So it is a big deal for her to be signing to them with a distribution deal. So it's really a partnership. It's not really her signing under them. It's a partnership. I'm not sure if she has her own independent label that's with her husband, Chris. So I don't know. But E1 is a major label and it is a big deal. But the big concern really for me, and we've talked about this before, is that yes, Candiace has people that love her. But in the music industry, you have to have a whole range of people that enjoy you and like your personalities, not just about talent in the music industry.
Right.
Well, right. That's why they brought up her tweets and everything, isn't it? They kind of like low-key brought that up a little bit in the conversation. And I felt like that was kind of interesting. A little bit of a hint to her.
Because they were saying something about social media, and she was like, "Oh, I got social media on lock. I know how to do social media." And they were like, not that type of social media."
You guys, I mean, it's the world we live in, but bad headlines, as long as you're not being hauled off to the pokey, bad headlines will give you just as much PR as good headlines. So when she's saying that, like, she can do a tweet saying, "I like ice cream," and a million people are like, "Shut up, you brat. You don't deserve ice cream." Then it really is like, listen, I do have a social media presence. I can rile the masses up. And even look what happened with Little Nas X, right? So many people were hate tweeting him, but it's pushed all his things to number one. Now, I'm not saying that Candiace is anything like Lil Nas X, but we see the way he takes that controversy, laughs at it, and pushes them to the top. So I'm
I feel like
excited
he
for
has
what's
a
happening.
fan base, though. I feel like Nas has like a strong fan base to where when other people hate on him, people kind of like support him, like they come out and rally for him. And I'm just not sure that Candiace has that same fan base.
And also
That will,
remember, this is R&B versus hip hop music. Very different. This is not like back in the 90s where R&B music was selling. R&B music is not selling like it used to.
that's sad. That's sad.
It is sad because I know we all love R&B music, but it's just not.
Especially
Pop
other
is
people
still
do soul music. They do soul music. They do R&B music, and it charts for them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that
yeah,
part.
that's a whole nother story, right?
Maybe
That's a whole
Candiace
nother
can
story.
bring in a younger audience. You know, Anita Baker did shout her out, so she has older audience on lock, or at least they know about her. Maybe can bring in a younger audience. I will say the one thing from her tweets, and you'll probably get to that. I'll say my comments, but the dynamic between her and Chris and her mom was really evident and on display in that meeting. You know?
Oh wow, you think so?
Yeah, like
I felt like her mom was being very supportive. What do you mean exactly?
Okay, so here's the thing about Candiace's mom and Chris. They both love her a lot, right?
Yeah.
She is the apple of the object of their affection, the apple of her eye. But the thing is, you saw with Miss Dorothy, she tries to strong arm Candiace to do what she wants, right? And when that doesn't work, she tries to get the peer pressure. So she didn't care that she was, you know, embarrassing or humiliating Candiace because she wanted Chris not to be her manager. So she's like, I'm going to embarrass her and have other people go and pile on and do my dirty work, which for a mom, you're like, come on, mom, don't do this. Chris, here's the thing. I think Chris is a strong man. I actually like Chris and Candiace together. But the one thing that Chris has is he has this need to be on good terms with everyone and a need to be liked by everyone.
I can tell that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he tries to like get on everyone's good side, and even by throwing Candiace under the bus, because listen,
he will sacrifice his wife in a minute. He don't mind sacrificing Candiace.
He likes her adjectives.
Yes. So he'll do that. But at the end of the day, the advice he's given her is good advice. The advice Miss Dorothy's given her is good advice because, yeah, things are good between her and Chris right now. But by her saying manager, 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 if she becomes an icon in 10 years, right? I know y'all just rolled your eyes, but if she becomes an icon in 10 years, Chris can go back and show this footage and be like, listen, you owe me manager. I brought you the deal. I helped you build. I did artist development. I want whatever managers get, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30, but whatever it is, he'll be entitled. And the
Wait,
thing
if your
is,
manager's asking for 30, run.
Okay, well, yes.
A lot.
30 run.
That's a lot.
Still her manager now, or does he get to leave her at the table? Is he still her manager, or now that he helped her get this deal, helped?
No, but see, he already has it now.
Here's
But here's the thing: even if he walks away today, whatever profits she makes from these deals, he can come back 10 years later and say, I was in the beginning and you owe me at least 20% of what you made in your first record contract. And again, they're all loved up now, but what's going to happen in 10 years when things, because they're both volatile people, if things go wrong and you're just like, I want my money. So her mom's trying to protect her, like separate it or get it in writing. But you know, like separate family, loved ones, and business, get it in writing. Chris is right saying don't let people feed into you, but the way they go about trying to get Candiace to comply, I feel is very disrespectful and very humiliating. I wouldn't like it.
Because she is an adult. She is an adult. But I want to say thank you for the super chat. Make it make sense. Thank you. You said Dorothy does the absolute most. I love her though. I do. I don't love her parenting style. I'm not with embarrassing your child to get them to do what you want them to do. Like that is ridiculous to me. But in general, you know, I do like Dorothy. I respect what she's built as far as her professionalism. She was looking cute this episode. I have to say, she had a little body yada going on this episode. And I was like, okay, Miss Dorothy, I see you. So I'm not mad at Miss Dorothy. I just wish she was a better parent. That's just my opinion. I wish she was a better parent. But yeah, we did see where Robyn is moving on to, you know, Robyn was in her mom's like warehouse. She was working in her mom's office, her mom's warehouse, but now she's moving out and she has a scene with Juan in her warehouse, her embellished warehouse. And she again brings up Juan's. You would think she had a talk with Juan after that scene with Ashley, but she again brings up Juan and his lack of parenting, you know, when the kids were younger. What did you guys think of that scene? Grace, we'll start with you.
I feel like she's laying it on thick. And, this is something that Campfire has said too, and I completely agree, which is that Robyn was on the chopping block. Tell me if I'm misquoting you, Campfire, but she was on the chopping block.
Here we
There
go.
she is. And they told her, listen, marriage or babies, right? And she's like, okay, well, I'm using up the marriage storyline. I'm not planning my wedding or whatever. Now I got to try on the baby storyline and have them both running and see if they'll allow me to stay with that. And I just feel like neither of them are believable to me at that point. I just don't see any
Robyn
chemistry.
is not having no baby.
Yeah.
Like, it is so fake. She is not having a baby.
Layla is fine.
Listen, Robyn is not having a baby.
Why?
Tisa. Oh my God. First of all, you can tell that's a point of contention in their relationship. Like the time, and a lot of people, as a parent, people tell you, okay, when the dad is not that involved with changing diapers and stuff like that. And Tisa, earlier you mentioned she didn't say anything inflammatory about him about not changing diapers, but that's a lot. When you're the only parent that changes diapers, it's a lot of diapers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a lot. And I felt like it was inflammatory. And I felt like that's why he was offended.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're breastfeeding too. It's a lot. And I felt like it was inflammatory, but at the same time, I felt like it was true. I definitely felt like
Oh, yeah. I definitely think it was a true story that she was telling. But the fact that she kept on bringing it up in this episode, it was sort of like they are definitely not communicating, because he seems like he was really offended that she kept on bringing that up, making it seem as if he's not a good dad.
Right. And there's this saying, like, if you're going to forgive somebody for something and stay with them, you can't keep bringing it up, like, regardless of whether you're on camera or not. Like, the camera, that's a whole nother element. But like, if you're staying with them despite their parenting issues, you can't keep like bringing it up, like, when you're past that point, like you're past the point of diapers. At this point, the kids are older. So to keep bringing it up, to me, I do feel like it's a little problematic, and I do feel like it's for the camera, because obviously, Robyn, if you stay with him, then you love it.
And got engaged again.
Yeah, so you love it.
Engaged.
She's a wishful thinker. The whole thing is, I get what you're saying about you can't bring it up again, but they're about if they are. Now, you guys don't believe the storyline. I really thought they were trying to have a baby, right? I said, if Robyn doesn't give Juan a baby, Juan's going to have a baby one way or the other, right? But there might be a little baby Juan somewhere over in Europe with his old girlfriend.
My God. I need my allegedly sign.
In Europe, you mean down the street.
Allegedly, Juan was living in Europe for a while and had a woman he called the love of his life. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I actually thought, if you're starting on a journey about parenthood again, wouldn't you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page? And also, this is Robyn's bread and butter, right? To a point, this is putting money in Juan's pocket. Juan, if you don't want the storyline to be changing diapers, and what else do you want? Because the producers could get deep in your business and really pull out dirt. I feel like her and Gizelle, you guys all did the All Diamonds Aunt Rose. And that's when we found out Gizelle is for real the op. She's producer plant. She takes pride in it. And I feel like she pulled Robyn to the side and was like, girl, if we throw Wendy under the bus and give them that meat, then we can just skate by and have, they'll peer into our lives a little bit, but we can just come off scot-free. So Robyn's like, Juan, just work with me. And Juan's like, no, I'm not doing anything. And it's like, what do you want your storyline to be? Because it can't be the hats. What do you want?
Tori R, I want to thank you for your super chat. Tori said, sounds like a Wendy Williams situation. I think she might be referring to the man having a baby with some.
No, it was when Tisa was talking about Candiace and Chris being the manager and coming back asking for a percentage.
Because y'all know he got it. Y'all know I be on with Wendy Williams. He got it. He got exactly what he wanted. But I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it, because if you look at Wendy Williams' story, like, she was going to do like a panel talk show, kind of like The View, but he was the one that was kind of like, no, like, he's been.
Uh-oh. We're loading right now. So you guys, rank in the comments. Who did you like? Who was it? What was this episode on 1 to 10? What did you guys think? Empire Grace.
Here we go.
Me on this episode.
We're back. He's just trying to keep it afloat. We're back. Okay, so Juan walks off. I thought he looked good walking away.
I didn't like that. The way he just hopped in the car and stuff. Like, you guys came together.
And rolling the window up on her, that was cold.
Yeah. Not a fan of that at all. And I think someone earlier in the comments brought up a good point, which is Grace Turner, about how Robyn is currently struggling with pandemic depression or depression in general.
Mhm.
And so, having a baby and, possibly dealing with postpartum while you're still in the midst of that right now probably is something that, might be especially challenging for Robyn as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like he gave her a lot of pain when she was pregnant and also when she had, so it's like she's working through PTSD with that whole situation.
But yeah,
That thing is, the sad thing is Juan isn't giving her much encouragement that it's going to be anything different. He's basically telling her, shut up, do what I say, and we'll be all right.
But this, I have to say, this has given me that this relationship is exactly what the blogs have been saying. It's not real. It's not authentic. It's for the show, because Juan has not shown up. And the minute he shows up, we feel as if he really does not like this woman.
Exactly. And speaking of that, Kempire, the audacity of Robyn to sit there on their double date with Michael and Ashley and ask Michael why he hasn't been coming around the group and this, that, and the other, like Juan's been around. Like, this is the first time we've seen Juan in a minute.
I thought the same thing. It's sort of like, okay, Juan's been missing in act. And look, remember at the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, we don't see Juan or Michael Darby at the reunion. We only see Chris there.
They were hanging out together. They were getting drinks before and after in the bar lobby.
That's what I thought. Like that they were just nearby. They're like,
blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost my internet connection. But I guess y'all can still see each other.
Yeah. You don't see us?
I see you now, but I lost my internet connection, so I kind of lost where we were at. But were y'all talking about Juan rolling up the window?
Yes. Kempire said that he didn't think that it shows that what the blogs are saying is true about not a genuine relationship. But I would agree with Kempire, but raise you one where I think it's an authentic relationship where it's one-sided. We've all seen relationships where one person is fully in and the other person could care less. It is at Juan's beck and call. So yeah, it's a horrible relationship, but I think it's a real horrible relationship.
I think it's horrible too. I feel like Robyn has allowed Juan to take all of like the romance out of the relationship. Like I feel like they kind of like homies, like how he calls her Rob. I don't like that. How he calls her Rob. I feel like it's a homie lover friend relationship. I'm not into that. Yes.
I still think this relationship, the reason why Juan is playing on with this charade is so that she can remain on the show and pay their bills and take care of their kids. I think that's the only reason. And I didn't think that originally, but after the last season and this season, it's very clear that this is not a love relationship. It's a relationship of convenience. And look, great for you guys, but next season, I don't need Robyn on the show. I need her if she's going to come back, just as a friend of.
I don't want her at all. I think that's what made this episode so boring. We got so much of the fake relationship no one cares about, like I'm not buying any of this. Like what? Like no.
Grace is a hard sell.
I am.
I agree with you.
Maybe it's so boring.
I'm concerned about her books and the money that she needs.
God.
Well, and we do see. I can't agree with you, Kempire. It does see that now that she's on this show and she's making money, like he is kind of giving her more of a chance. You know what I mean? It is financial, and that even goes to what you were saying, Tisa, about Juan and Michael. Like it's financial. He is all about the money. But we saw, the beginnings of
not the stairs of death.
Yes. These scared me. I have to be honest with you guys. If I walked into an event and saw these stairs, it's the fact that they're marble. If they were wooden or even carpeted, I would feel okay. But these are kind of like intimidating, like feeling like you have to walk up those stairs in heels. That's a lot.
And there's no elevator, right? Like everybody had to use the stairs.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, you don't have
Karen
elderly.
tweeted, it's industrial chick. It's new. It's now. It's current. Karen was telling us. She said we should have just enjoyed the love. She was just sniping people all up and down Twitter. So she called it
Gizelle get around. We didn't get a clip of Gizelle going up the stairs with her boot. I would have loved to see that. Like, how do people who have mobility issues work?
I got it for you, girl. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I want to thank you for the super chat. Victory for real. Thank you for the super chat. You said that love of life story explains why Juan acts like he doesn't like Robyn. Yeah, that another woman is allegedly the love of his life. Yeah. And Ashley spilled that tea. I want to say it was the first season or second season that Ashley was on. She spilled that tea.
That's Ashley.
Season 2, Ashley. There it is.
Yeah, that's Gizelle.
She looks surprisingly good from the knees up. And I understand she has a boot, but Grace, when you go back to that picture, why did you have, I knew she was going to have glitter somewhere. And she had it on her, like, her Adidas track shoes. Like, she literally had glitter on the black sneaker. Like, Gizelle, like, I just don't know.
No flats, nothing, kitten heel. For
no reason. Like, Giselle's a person at, what is it?
Right. There's always got to be something off.
She shops at Marshalls, but you know how Marshalls, you can maybe find some cute stuff. Most of my makeup comes from Marshalls. I'm a big Marshalls fan. But you know, there's those things that you're just like, now who would buy this, right? Go send this overseas. And then you see Gizelle going in, racking up. So
let me ask you this, because I also shop at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. But when I buy stuff from there, I always wonder, because I can't see the defect. But you know, there's some type of defect. Like when you get the makeup from there, don't you feel like, what's wrong with this makeup? Like, why is it here? And
so the makeup goes there because it's not selling. So you see like palettes and whatnot that maybe couldn't sell at Sephora for $84, but somebody will buy it for $24.99.
Okay.
So it's not used or anything. They literally, because I actually Googled it just to make sure. It's literally if it's not selling. Because apparently with makeup, Sephora literally takes everything you return. They don't use returns at Marshalls. But do you know whether you used it or not? They break it up. Right. So and then they throw it in the dumpster. They're not allowed to resell it or use it for anything, whether you touch it or not.
Return.
Yeah, and makeup only costs, like, a palette might cost with everything $1 to make, packaging and everything, and they're selling it for $84. So it's like, what is it? High fashion, anything designer, they burn that stuff at the end of every season because Gucci can't be a Marshalls. So.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know that. You're right, though. Yeah, certain brands can't be a Marshalls. Oh, my God. They burn it. Oh, I just got pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Let me move on. Let me move on. I want to mention they did show Wendy's daughter, Cameron. Gorgeous. And Wendy posted, you know, she was in the hospital recently, and Wendy posted that she is out of the hospital. For those of you watching, if you didn't know, she is okay. Wendy posted she's out of the hospital and she's doing much better. You see her in her little Halloween costume.
Who's that light skinned woman with the baby? Is that Wendy?
No, Grace.
Yeah, Joe.
No, Grace. No.
Grace takes a step.
She's Tisa's color. What is this?
Oh my God. Moving on. Listen, so they're at the vow renewal, and I think this is Ray's cousin, but she's like, "Oh, you know, Bill Gates ain't got nothing on you," and then Ray says to her, "Except for the fact that he's getting a divorce."
Yep.
And I was like,
Ray is with the one-liners this season. I'm loving Ray.
Yeah, he's been very shady this season.
I love it. I love it.
I wrote them.
What did you think that's Ray's age? Like, Ray, it reminds me of like my dad and my grandfather. Men of a certain age, the one thing they love joking around is how much they can't stand their wives. Cheaper to keep her. Oh, the old ball and chain. They always got some drag about their wives, but they love their wives more than anything, you know? So I think it's not a cultural, but an age difference on way he's always making jokes about the old ball and chain. What do y'all think?
I love that.
She went in on first of all, he went in on the butterflies, right? Like that was freaking hilarious.
The wedding was the next. That's how the episode started off, with him going in on the butterfly.
The butterfly. So funny.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So he makes that comment. I didn't appreciate that comment. I felt like, Ray, that's very, very shady. You know, you're at your vow renewal and you're making those type of jokes. Like it's too shady for me. But they show everybody arriving. And I wanted to talk about this because this was a lot. This was a lot for me. Wendy, you look good. Your body looks good, but you look so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
What did y'all think about Wendy's dress being so tight? Like she could barely sit down.
She did it for the gram. Listen, she tried on the dress, standing next to Eddie. She looked like $1 million. And I think when she sat down, she was like, well, the table's going to be here, so I don't really have to worry about anything else, right? And she didn't count. The producers were going to keep the camera on her, seeing her teeter
and watch
down
her.
Yeah. And almost fall.
Yeah, they're going to watch you do that.
She's an amateur to reality TV then, because it's sort of like, girl, the minute she got into the car and she knew she couldn't get into the car, she'd be like, wait, I'm gonna have to be late. I need to go figure something else out because this is not going to be functional.
Exactly.
Empire State reality TV pros do jumping jacks before they get, just to make sure
they know what they're doing.
I feel like just regular people, even if you're not on reality TV, like me personally, I'm not on reality TV. If I'm trying on a dress and I can't bend down, and obviously Wendy could not bend down in that dress. If I can't bend down, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to spend my money on it. Even if it's free, I'm going to be like, can you get me a larger size? Like, I'm over that. Because a lot of times, I guess people think tighter is cuter, but it don't be looking right. To me, when clothes are too tight and you can see like VPL, y'all know VPL, to me, visible panty line is so unattractive. It's so unattractive. And so I was just like, this is not the move. I was just like, this is not it. I like the top of the dress, but the bottom, the fact that she couldn't fit in it, I was like, Wendy girl, what are you doing?
But you know, it's a perfect way to end her awkward season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think, and I have noticed that she is doing better. Like if you see her on her social media, she's getting used to her body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems like Eddie really likes her body.
Well, I mean, it's a beautiful body, but I thought it was also the curse of she has a new body. She's super excited. And you could tell season 2, she got a stylist. I thought that was the problem. The stylist had her outfits laid out like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. The pandemic hit. And then she's wearing all these outfits that look out of place in Chesapeake Bay. All these outfits that look out of place in people's living rooms because they were expecting all these glamorous events. But I guess this goes into what Kim Pyre said. She's I don't like, you know, a full ball gown and they're going to eat a Red Lobster. And it's like, I guess Wendy, okay.
Yeah, I can verify the Chesapeake Bay is not glamorous. It's not. It's not. So they show, you know, Juan is at the table and, you know, he's a date to both Robyn and Gizelle. And he's asking Gizelle, is she dating anyone? And she kind of puts up her purse and she was like, yes, I have been dating. And so they show her even in her confessional, she's kind of like shy about it. And she's telling them it's none of her business who she's dating, which to me, as a reality star, I feel like you're on the Housewives. Okay, we know you don't have a husband, but you could at least show who you're dating. You know what I mean? What did y'all think about her saying and telling the producer it's none of your business?
I hate that she gets away with it, you guys. She gets away with too much. She's the nosiest person about everybody else's men. And she even had that DM comment, like side men and this and that, but she can never open up. And spoiler alert, as usual, it didn't pan out.
Yeah.
At the end, we find out.
Right.
He was younger too. He was in his 30s.
36.
Yeah, Giselle's like 50 something, like 51.
Do you believe it's a real relationship though?
No. I felt like, remember at one point she was like, she was in some type of like casual relationship. I forget. I want to say it was last episode she mentioned that. So I don't feel like it was a real like emotional type relationship. I felt like it was a casual, like what do they call it, the maintenance man type of relationship. I don't think it was like a real relationship. Yeah, that's like a Eric Jerome Dickey book.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, it was that, in my opinion.
I feel like Giselle's boyfriend, I feel like he is make-believe. I feel like he is like lives in summer camp. Like we're like, Gizelle, when are we gonna meet your boyfriend? Well, you know, we're in summer camp in Romania and I only can see him 2 weeks and he can't come into US. She always has some fantastic story about, think about it, whenever she's not dating, because as soon as she gets anyone that'll agree to come on camera, to Grace's point, she'll grab them. She's always up to the same thing. And that is her Achilles heel. She wants to be seen with a man next to her, right? And she'll drag them into a scene. So the fact that now she's trying to act like she's being demure and she's trying to protect a relationship, that man does not exist. Or like you said, it's such a casual relationship that they're not even bothered. They're just like, what? Be seen with you in the sunlight? No. I'll see you at 1 a.m. today.
Not the sunlight.
No.
And Gizelle deserves that. I'm gonna say this, even though I'm not the biggest Gizelle fan, like she deserves better than someone who doesn't want to be seen with her in the sunlight. That's a problem. That's a problem. But we see, you know, we see Karen's dress. What did y'all think of Karen's dress? She said it was 10,000, and I can't remember which of our channels it was on, but somebody was asking, is that 10,000 USD? or is that
Turkish lira?
It was your channel.
Yeah. I was asking that question. I think it's Turkish lira, not USD. So?
No. So what would that translate to? Turkish lira, 10,000 Turkish lira would be about how much USD?
Oh, let's look.
It's a gorgeous dress, though. I thought it was a really, really pretty dress. I don't know how functional it was for the the stairs from from hell, but it was a
Forget
beautiful dress.
functional.
She looked amazing.
She looked like the most elegant, prettiest cupcake I've ever seen. I thought it, but I thought she looked really, really good. I love the finger waves. I love the little brooch or whatever in her hair. I just thought she looked so beautiful. And even when Ray saw her, I was like, okay, Karen, it looked like the Grand Dame, you know, and even though it seemed like it occurred at a used car dealership, it was still a beautiful, beautiful. Inside it looked gorgeous, but outside when everybody pulled up, I remember thinking, is this a used car dealership? But
no,
we'll
we had this conversation before, and I showed my apartment like it's a converted warehouse. Don't worry about the outside; it's the inside that matters. Don't worry about what it looks like
not
on
the
the outside.
converted warehouse. I'm into industrial chick. No, my thing
Yes,
is places like this,
yes.
they throw flowers outside. They do like the photo wall. Like they put a lot into making the outside very, very beautiful because of an event. You know, very few places look gorgeous just on their own, unless it's a historical home. I was just surprised at how bare bones it was outside. That's all.
I want to thank Zoe or Zoe. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but you sent $14 in I want to say New Zealand, South Africa.
South African czar.
Thank you, the czar. She said I was embarrassed for Wendy's outfits most of the time. Yeah, especially when you can't move in them. That's definitely embarrassing when you can't move in the outfit. Like it's not worth it. Like just wear something that you can actually move around in. Yeah, it's definitely not worth it.
And you're probably filming for who knows how many hours at this wedding.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable. You lose circulation if something is too tight. I have worn like pants or dresses and like you just go numb in that area. So I could not imagine a whole evening or night.
The real gag is, how did she stand up? Because we've all been there when something's too tight. It was a lot to sit down. Somebody would have had to help her stand up. So I'm just wondering why they didn't catch that on camera.
Yeah, like you said, that's what Eddie is for. that's what Eddies are for. That's what husbands are for. But you know, when they're doing their vow renewal, and in the vows, the pastor says something about friendship, which it was not a red flag to me. I was like, okay, friendship is the basis of a relationship. But when he says something about friendship, Gizelle kind of, you see how Gizelle is looking, and then in the confessional, and this is what I named the title of the video, because I feel like next season, Karen and Gizelle are going to go at it again, because Gizelle said that, okay, this is a friendship, not a regular marriage, but a friendship. And that's why Karen slides in people's DMs. And I felt like Gizelle, like you cannot help yourself. Like, do you have some type of impulse control problem to where you know this is not right? Like, it's not right to bring up, the issue with Eddie and Wendy. And now you're saying Karen is sliding in people's DMs. Like, you just made up a Karen. You know this is not right. But to still bring it up, to me, was a lot. But what did y'all think about Karen? Not Karen, Gizelle, bringing that back up. Kim Pryor, we'll start with you. What did you think about that?
Look, they're always are going to be at war. And reportedly, they said that some of the ladies were forced to go to this vow renewal in order to get paid. So even if we thought they made up, they really have not truly made up. So I wasn't surprised at the shade. I was surprised at the particular statement in regards to Karen being in people's DMs. Maybe she's in people's DMs when she's drinking a little bit. They have alluded to that as well.
God. Yes, they have. They were like, she's a different person when she's drinking. Yeah, so she didn't name whose DM. She didn't name whose DM she was sliding into. But I don't know if I can picture. Can y'all picture Karen sliding into somebody's DMs? And if so, who? Who?
No.
This is what Ashley's saying about when Karen gets drunk. Okay, I can actually see her going in someone's DMs, maybe drunk.
Who would be her type? Who would be her type?
Oh, I don't know. Oh my God, that's a good question.
I feel like they would be her age or younger. They wouldn't be an older guy because she has an older guy. So they would be her age or younger.
Let's try something else.
Right, try something different.
Somebody distinguished, somebody that has a high social standing. The Grand Dame is not dating the fry cook.
Right.
Right.
But they did say at one point, they were like, it was something going on between her and her driver. So I don't know. Maybe she's just looking at the physical and not
a little fun time.
Yeah, maybe she's just.
I would probably Bill Gates.
And the real Bill Gates.
And that would be a storyline.
He did get divorced. Now she's trying to move on up to the real one.
you know, Gizelle, I want to ask you guys this. Do you think that Gizelle is literally veering into Portia Williams territory in the way that Portia will just say stuff, right? And everybody will think like, oh, okay, it sticks. You think that Gizelle already said earlier that she thinks everybody cheats, that men aren't capable of being faithful. She said before that, what was it? Her good friend Ray had a crush on her and was trying to get with her. I think she attacks people's marriages because she tells stuff for production. She's hoping it'll be true. And she feels like you're probably cheating anyway. Everybody cheats. So let me just throw something out there and maybe y'all can dig it up. Because it makes no sense. I don't even think Karen knows how to use Instagram that well to be sliding in someone's DMs. And even if they did, why would they tell Gizelle? And if Gizelle knew any type of information, she wouldn't say the guy's name, but she would 100% be like, he's an actor or he's a model or he works in this, you know? But I don't know. What do y'all think?
I agree. You know, when she said that comment, I was like, you're so miserable. Like, that is one thing that Gizelle will always attack without fail is marriage and relationship, because that is something that she has never had a real one. You know what I mean? Like, in her life, a real faithful, good one. So like, she doesn't understand that if you have a 25-year marriage, you do have a certain level of friendship. She doesn't get it.
So when we were asking who is Karen's type, make it make sense. Is Lionel Richie? That's who Karen's type is.
Yes.
Lionel Richie. Oh my god. The man that helped with the Surrey County video. Okay. All right. So at the vow renewal, we also have Ray actually talking to Michael. I always forget Michael's name, and I apologize. I always forget Michael's name. But he's talking to Michael, and look, Ray is so shady. And he told him, "I'm surprised that your children came out good looking."
Surprisingly good looking.
Right. I felt like he meant that. Like, he was saying it like a joke, but I felt like he meant that.
Oh, he meant that.
Yeah. Ray is so shady. Ray is
giving so much life this season.
Yes.
It's the end of the season. It's like, oh, Ray.
Yes.
I love
him so much.
I love Ray.
I mean, the kids are surprisingly good looking. So Michael can get mad, but they are. I was literally thinking they would come out Benjamin Button style. You know, Michael. Literally.
I don't want to
sometimes I look at him like the fact that, like, no disrespect to anyone, but Michael sometimes look like he is a leprosy patient. Like, I feel like pieces of skin fall off on him onto Ashley. Like, there's just something about him. So I'm glad the kids are good looking and healthy and youthful. You know, very youthful.
I'm gonna just go ahead. Oh my god. It reminds me, you know, in The Color Purple, y'all seen The Color Purple, right? And Celia is asking the new wife, like, how did the guy die? Like, how did Mr. die? And she's like, on top of me.
Yeah.
That's what Michael gives me. On top of me. But yeah, so they have where, you know, Juan is going to broker peace. Juan and Gizelle, I will give credit to Gizelle. They're trying to broker peace between Michael and Chris. And I want to know, first of all, what did y'all think of that? You know, basically, Michael is saying that he was able to make up with Gizelle. They had some issue because Gizelle called him out, you know, in the past. But he was able to make up with Gizelle because Gizelle is intelligent. So that pretty much says that he's saying that Chris is not intelligent. What did y'all think of that?
Shady.
Yeah.
I thought it was a weird conversation and how quickly they got over it. And I mean, guys usually do kind of quickly get over beats, but I just don't feel like these two messy guys would. But I also don't understand what their beef really was, to be honest.
Their beef was that Chris doesn't respect Michael the way everybody else bows down to it. Michael tried to come for Chris's wife, and whether you like Candiace or not, it's like, who walks over to another man and says, "Go get your wife, control her. She's acting like a wild animal," and it goes down well. I think that, you know, a lot of people, I think when Candiace got up, she talked about, you know, racial privilege, but I think it's more money privilege. She behaves like
privilege. It's fine.
Yeah, well, it is that, but it's also combined with a lot of wealth where everybody kind of bows down. Because even Gizelle bows down to Michael as if, you know, there might be something that they can get from him in the future. And judging by the way, Ashley is always in Rainbow and Joyce Leslie's finest. Michael is very stingy with his money, so why is everybody kissing his butt? He is not one easily parted with his money. So
Right. Right. And I don't blame him. He's a smart guy. When it comes to money, even the prenuptial agreement that he's had set up with Ashley, like Ashley is not running off with the bag. It seems as if Ashley actually has to stay with him to get his money. Like she can't leave him and get his money. That's what we're starting to realize. And so she's just having baby after baby, you know, trying her best, you know, to get the bag. But I felt like the situation ended quickly because Juan was the one, you know, trying to tell Michael to go ahead and drop it. Like one of you guys said earlier, obviously Chris wanted to drop it. He made his amends with Ashley earlier in the season at the little vacation house. And so now he's trying to make his amends with Michael. So Chris wanted to drop it. And then once Juan kind of, you know, patted Michael on the shoulder, he agreed to drop it as well.
They winked at each other too. Michael winked at him.
Yes, I tried to catch the wink. Let me see if I caught it. I tried to catch it. I don't think I got it.
I laughed so
Look at
hard.
Wendy's dress in the background.
Oh,
I love the Scala's dress, by the way, you guys. Beautiful.
Yes.
They had Wendy and Escala at the other table.
damn.
So I guess this conversation, you know, the producers were trying to set up this conversation and have Gizelle kind of talk them through it. But, you know, Ashley was at the bar. And I thought that was interesting because I wondered if Ashley had been present during the conversation, would they have made up or would have Ashley and Candiace started arguing?
She would have
That's a good
escalated it, I
question.
think, like she did at that vacation at the table when she kind of brought up some really old stuff, I guess, and just like kind of tried to instigate a little bit. That's what I think.
What about you, Kempire?
I mean, I never really even thought about it. I thought it was convenient timing that she wasn't at the table when they had the conversation, but maybe it would have been more entertaining of a season finale if she was at the table.
Maybe.
Because it just sort of was like, okay, they're having this conversation, but it was probably the least interesting part of the season finale.
Yeah, it wasn't the climax that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It definitely was not. It was not. What about you, Tisa? What did you think if Ashley had been at the table with Ashley and the Candiace have clashed in the middle of Michael and Chris making up?
You know what? Honestly, I agree with you guys. I think it would have spun out of control because Ashley has this vendetta against Candiace. When she said that Michael was her slave driver, she has not gotten over it since. And at first I thought, what do you want? Like you got her out of charges with Monique. You know, you played her in her mom's house. You've gotten so many one-ups. And it's almost like Ashley just wants to see Candiace down in the dirt because it's like you won a million times. Ashley let it go, but she won't. Now, I have a question for you guys. Did you guys think it was interesting that Juan was trying to calm Michael down and trying to get Chris to apologize? And Robyn was the one that was like, you can't sit there, Michael, and act like you didn't do anything, because even that argument when he was like, I don't like people being mean to my wife, a lot of people actually pointed out, which is true, but what was it? Candiace was going at Karen. She wasn't really at that argument they were talking about that Michael said, go get your wife. She was going at Karen. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I thought it was odd that even when it comes to Juan and Michael, he'll even go against Robyn, because Michael did ruin their engagement party, acted a fool, turned that place out. And like Juan looked at Robyn like, shut up. Why are you saying that? I mean, did you guys see anything behind that, or was I just reading too much into it?
I did think if you look back at Robyn's engagement party, Robyn and Juan's engagement party, Chris and Michael did mess that up. They did, you know, act a fool at the engagement party. And so in the promo for this particular episode, when Candiace is saying this is the whitest white privilege, I actually thought she was talking to both of them. I thought she was talking to her husband too. I did. I always thought, because remember she talking about the two bald-headed white men. I always thought she was talking about Chris and Michael. But then come to find out she was only, you did too, Kempire.
Yeah.
You did too. You thought she was talking to both of them, but apparently she was only talking to Michael.
She does not see her man as white, you guys. The way she's on the internet calling, you know, another Black woman in an interracial relationship, all these, you know, pretty racist things, you would think that she wasn't in one herself.
Right.
Talking about him.
Yes. Yes. But if she didn't think of her husband as white, I feel like he proved it to her when he confronted her about bringing up white privilege. Okay. So at this point, Grace, do you think she sees her husband as white now? He confronted her about bringing up white privilege and saying that that's not appropriate right now. Do you think she sees her husband as white now?
You know,
The jury's out on that. The jury's out on that. I don't think so still. I think she will continue to make, these very inflammatory statements about the nature of Ashley's relationship, like the racial nature of it. Yeah, I don't see it.
They're friends now, apparently.
Oh, yeah, they went out recently, right?
Yep, they were
Quite a
out
few
in LA.
times.
Great sips. What did you think, Tisa?
Honestly, in that moment, and no one's perfect. Like I said, I like Candiace and Chris's relationship. I think for them to have cameras, it seems kind of functional, right? Every relationship has problems, but it's pretty functional. I think that Chris needs to learn to tighten up. Do I think Candiace realizes? Yes, I do. But also it's like, Chris was wrong. Chris, if Candiace was around your friends and your family and your world, I could see you taking a task. But you are in a relationship with a Black woman. You should know what white privilege is. And you should know when she said this is white privilege, to take her to task while you're around in her world and her friends and everyone knew what she was talking about. I was like, Chris, you got to tighten up. It's like, again, maybe it's a cultural thing, not even racial, but maybe it's a cultural thing that Chris doesn't feel the need to stand by his partner. I say this all the time, the way I saw my parents, the way I was raised. You can curse me out in the car. We can have an argument in the house.
Yeah.
But when I'm around people, whether I know them, and especially if they're my enemies, you have to stand by my side. Even if you don't agree with me, do a meeting and Greg.
I just
feel like with him, kind of chastising her for bringing up race, I feel like that is what white privilege is. And I feel like this final episode, even though it might not have been the most entertaining episode, I feel like at the end, the last 5 minutes showed us what white privilege is. Like, it's the privilege of not having to talk about race and prioritize race. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times Black people and people of color, we experience racism, but then white people give us a hard time for talking about racism. So I feel like, I hope she acknowledges that her husband, he is white. It is what it is. And I got this quote, you guys. I got this quote from Twitter, and I made a graphic. It says, privilege isn't the presence of perks and benefits. That's not what white privilege is. It's the absence of obstacles and barriers. That's a lot harder to notice. If you have a hard time recognizing your privileges, focus on what you don't have to go through. Let that fuel your empathy and action. And so there's a point, I was trying to see if I got a screenshot, but there's a point when Candiace brings up white privilege, Michael makes a comment. I don't think I got the screenshot, but Michael makes a comment like, how far will she go? In reference to Candiace, as if she's a villain for bringing up white privilege.
I didn't get her comment. I have to say, you guys, I'm sorry. I didn't see the relevance of race in the conversation or anything like that, especially coming from Candiace.
I felt like what she was trying to say, because in that moment, Michael was trying to say that he was not guilty of anything. Like, he was absolving himself of all guilt. And I think that's why she was trying to say, like, white privilege is being able to say, I didn't do anything wrong.
But how many times has Candiace done that herself when she's instigated, situations with people, then acted like she didn't do anything? She does that all the time herself. And Candiace is the most anti-Black housewife I've ever seen.
Ooh, Candiace is anti-Black, Grace?
She is so anti-Black.
Why do you say that?
All of the stuff she says, that she calls the girl slave. She calls her this bad whatever word. She calls everyone hood, ghetto, this, roach, this, that. She is so, like...
Hood, ghetto, roach are not Black. So we can drop those.
It's like coded language that people like to use, like specifically in regards to people from certain communities and this and that. It's typically like a racially coded word, I find.
I feel like it's
I don't know about that.
I think another thing we also have to keep in mind, and we talked about this, Layla and I, when we did the colorism conversation way back, is that, especially when we're talking about reality TV and what's left out, we don't know what else may have happened in that conversation, why Candiace may have stood up and said that too. So we're basing on what we saw, but there's probably a lot more that happened that we would probably be like, oh, I see where she's coming from with that.
Yeah. And speaking of the show as a whole, and to me, colorism and racism are kind of like cousins. Like, colorism is an offshoot of racism. So people were asking, back to the Alzheimer's situation where Ashley asked G, an older man, if he was experiencing Alzheimer's. But then when she went to watch What Happens Live, she didn't have to answer for it. Like, Andy never asked her to answer for her comments, which were leaning towards ages. She didn't have to answer for it. But anytime you know, Candiace makes a comment, even saying that somebody has a wide face or a wide body, you know, she's a body shamer and she has to answer for it when she goes and watch What Happens Live. And so people are saying that's an example, you know, of colorism. So when people talk about the colorism issues on the show and the race issues on the show, I see it. I see it.
I've
I
seen it
definitely
too.
see
I
it.
did a whole video about it. And the funny thing is, I asked people, because if people were attacking me in the I mean, not attacking me, but you know how it is. People are like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I literally said, you know what? Let's take away colorism, right? Let's take away all this. We all have to acknowledge that there is something odd in the way, like you said, Layla, Candiace is actually held accountable for even breathing and answer for your people, answer for your sins. And with everybody else, it just goes by the wayside. I don't feel Candiace is anti-Black. If anything, I feel like Michael thinks that he's better than the staff, than the rest of the cast, because he is a different race. And I feel like Ashley kind of goes over there with him. I think that Ashley is aware of her privilege that her complexion gives her, aware of the privilege her beauty gives her, and she is fine to wield that to speak in very coded language to Candiace. If I closed my eyes and if Ashley was a white woman, I literally would have been like, I'd like to make a complaint about racism to Bravo. But because Ashley is, I don't know, is Ashley Black? Maybe she's mixed. I don't know. She's a woman of color, right?
Yeah, she's mixed.
Is she mixed? Okay, well, I feel like she's given a slide, you know, and just thinking right now, Layla, maybe she was talking to Chris and Michael, and that's why Chris was like that white privilege thing you said, because now it makes sense. She was saying with both of them, the way they were acting, what they were saying, the way her husband was throwing her under the bus, and they were acting like it was just apology, when actually Michael said some pretty coded language when he was cursing at Candiace, and the way he refers to her is very coded, like you're a criminal, you're aggressive, you're this, you're that.
You have a rap sheet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember he said that. Candiace ain't got no rap sheet. He said Candiace had a rap sheet. Yeah.
But it's very coded. And the fact that Chris was willing, and maybe Candiace's mind, maybe if she was talking to both of them, to kind of overlook that for an apology is a thing of privilege too, because when you attach these labels to any person who is Black or even a person of color, it sticks. And it's not something you can just move past quickly. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but yeah, I just don't think Candiace is anti-Black. I've never seen it.
She's so anti-Black. It's crazy.
I feel like when you're saying anti-Black, it's really, I feel like Candiace is elitist, but the anti-Black thing, I can't understand.
Just I'm gonna start watching for it. I'm gonna start watching for it. Now that you put it on the radar, I'm gonna be like,
I don't understand how she could be anti-Black, because I don't feel like the things you mentioned, I feel like are more social than racial. But that's my opinion. I do see in the comments people are agreeing with you. So everybody has their own perspective. You know, people can agree or disagree. But I actually went to play a game. I went to play a game because this episode was on Halloween. So I wanted to play Trick or Treat. So for each of the cast members, I want you guys to tell me as a whole on this season, were they a trick or a treat for you? And we can start. Let's start with Candiace. Candiace, was Candiace a trick over the whole season? And when I say trick, I don't mean like a streetwalker. I just mean like a trick, like you expected one thing and you got another. That's what I mean by trick. So was Candiace a trick or a treat for you?
Treat. I think I got what I would expect from her normally.
I would say she was a trick, just because. And I don't mean it like that, but I mean, I thought we were getting something in the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of the season, we got the same old Candiace.
The tears. Yeah. What about you, Tisa?
You know, I thought she was a trick, but in a different way. I felt like this was her redemption season. She's always going to have her people that don't like her. Like Robyn keeps saying, people find her annoying. But I like the way the clips they showed us, to me, made it seem like, oh, so Candiace is fighting with someone else. But I thought it was very grown up of her, the way she swallowed her pride and apologized to Mia. It would have been very easy just to take that apology and sit in her pride. But she said, okay, you know what? And I apologize to you too. I liked her redemption arc. And I liked the way that she's now more confident in herself. She's like, I express my emotions through crying. This is what it is. And I'm going to cry. Okay. So she seems like she, you know, got baptized by fire. So I actually enjoy where she is right now. And we got to see her, the kids, and Chris. I don't know. I thought it was good.
So I guess we're split. Because I think she was a treat as well. I like Candiace. I'm gonna be honest. I like Candiace as a whole. I don't like how she cried. I don't like how she threw me lettuce at Mia and then cried when Mia threw it back. That was kind of like a low point for me.
Yeah.
But overall, I think she was a treat. So we're kind of like mixed when it comes to
I
Candiace.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, we're
Layla,
mixed.
I'll be right back. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Well,
So,
when I say trick, I like Candiace. So I thought it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. We could change it to
You
trick.
weren't mad
I
at
actually
it,
do
yeah.
like Candiace a lot. I'm a big Candiace fan. I liked her.
okay, I think we might be switching there. I think we might be switching. So Candiace was a treat. And then let's talk about Gizelle. Was Gizelle a trick or a treat this season?
Treat
I
again.
like
She hasn't changed. You say trick? Why?
Only because I don't like what she gives. I don't know why I always expect something better from her. It might be her age. I expect women to mature. I don't know, but I always expect a little bit better for her. And then I'm always disappointed when she's not what I thought she would be. Oh, but we got a super chat. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Zoe. Let me see if I can find it, Zoe. Zoe said Andy is anti-black when he made reference, to This Is Not Love and Hip Hop, but not Candiace when he calls dark-skinned women roaches. When she calls dark-skinned women roaches and slave comments. So I think this is to your point, Grace, when you were saying that she's anti-black. Okay. Welcome back, Empire. So do you think she is? We were talking about Gizelle. Do you think Gizelle was a trick or a treat?
Oh, she was a treat because I didn't expect anything different from her this season, and she gave us exactly what we expect from her.
Okay.
Producer.
Same.
Okay, so y'all agree? Y'all feel like Gizelle was a treat? Did you, Tisa? She was a trick?
I thought she was a trick. When the stuff with Monique came out, I thought Monique was just talking. I thought it was horrible what she did to Candiace. She was the villain. But when she said Gizelle was a villain, this season made me realize both things can be true. I really was giving Gizelle a bunch of grace for going after people's relationships, going after people's marriages, and stirring the pot. I was giving her grace, and I realized, no pun intended, grace, right? But I was giving her room, and I realized you are that person everybody's been saying that you are. You like to destroy people's relationships, and you will just make up things, and you're a producer puppet. So, yeah, it was kind of like the switcheroo. My opinion of her changed a lot.
What did y'all think about Mia? Did she give you? I know we didn't have we didn't know what to expect. She was new on the show, but overall, looking at her on the season, would you say she was a trick or a treat?
Treat.
Trick,
I think, because she was flip floppy all the time. So I'll say trick.
Yeah, and she was also lying. I'm gonna have to say she was a trick for lying. She lied at least 2 to 3 occasions. I feel like she lied about her age, the whole. I don't know if it was vaginal rejuvenation or if it was a clit redo. The whole week B comment. Like she lied a couple times.
She was a trick and a treat. She really was, because she added a lot in regards to a storyline and getting involved in the mess with everyone. But then there were those moments you're like, this flip-flopping new housewife. She was definitely a trick and a treat.
Yeah.
What about Ashley's assignment?
I want a third option. Snooze.
Oh my God. I'm going to say that's a trick. I feel like snooze is a trick because Ashley normally brings a lot of drama. She's a bone carrier.
Yep.
So I'm going to classify snooze as trick.
Yeah.
Empire, Tisa, what do y'all think?
Trick.
Completely agree.
Okay. All right. What about Robyn? I'm looking for a picture of Robyn.
Oh, damn. Can't find you. You want me to bring mine up?
Was Robyn a trick or a treat this season? I'm gonna say for me,
she was a trick to the producer. She was a trick to us. Well, not a trick to us. We already knew she wasn't going to bring anything this season. But look,
so trick, y'all. We agree that Robyn was a trick this season.
It was Robyn.
Yeah. Okay. And what about Karen? Karen this season, was she a treat or a trick?
She was a treat to me. She moved the storyline along. I liked her, her wedding thing. I thought she wasn't problematic this season, and she just focused on her and Ray's love. I feel like Wendy got thrown under the bus. That was everybody's storyline, and then Candiace had her storyline. Everybody just got them where they fit in. So,
right, I kind of agree with that. What do y'all think, Empire?
I think
She was a treat.
she was a treat. I was like, what did I expect from Karen this season? You know what? Karen has evolved as a housewife. She was not my favorite in the beginning, but she has become a favorite just from her commentary and how she interacts with the ladies. She was a treat this season.
Okay. So what about, I believe that's lastly Wendy. Was Wendy a trick or a treat this season?
A treat. She was a treat.
Not the trash. I think it was a trick. She did a 180 on her like whole life and personality and stuff. So I'll say
she was a treat for me. I was so entertained by Wendy this season. She did do a 180, but I mean, I like stuff like that. Like, I'm entertained. The Kim Tisa, what do y'all think?
Listen, the way that Wendy would not bow down to Gizelle and Robyn, the way they tried their mean girl actors, and Wendy was just looking at them like, so what you want, right? When she said, is there a bathroom in this room? Trying to make her feel bad. And Wendy's like, let me know. Anyway, we're going to be downstairs for lunch. She was so unbothered. She had Gizelle and Robyn just stuck on uploading. Like, their faces were just like the whole time.
I love it.
And her fashions, I loved her learning how to dress for her new body. Like, you saw her being like a 16-year-old that just found out that she's sexy and showing everything to like really getting into her style. I liked it. I liked it.
Goodbye. I just want to say, when I was, I feel like I still dressed good when I was 16. I started thinking I was cute, but I feel like I still dressed good. But Kim, what did you think?
I think it was both for Wendy. I think she was a treat at moments and that were highlights for the season. But I also do feel like we were fooled by her this season. I think she tried to play it up to the cameras and storylines and things like that. So she definitely gave me a mix of both this season.
Okay,
exactly. She was a trick that was a treat.
Yes.
Because she was very different, right? But it was amazing.
Okay. Let me I want to acknowledge we got a super chat from Jerry. Let me just find it real quick. But Jerry is the one, he has Kanye. I remember his icon. He has Kanye with the blonde hair and his icon.
Oh.
So it should stick out to me. Give me a minute, Jerry. And I know you got something to say. Let me see, Jerry. I'm looking for you. I cannot find it. But my sister texted me and said Jerry sent a super chat of $1.99. So Jerry, even though I feel like the comment might have disappeared.
Yeah, it probably could. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. But I still want to thank you for your super chat. Leave a comment real quick, Jerry, and tell me what you said. And then I don't see any of these. My sister said Miss S. Walker. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't see any super chats right now. But Miss S. Walker sent $4.99. And I want to thank you for that as well. I want to show you guys his comments, but I can't access them anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't hold them.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you guys. So that was the season finale. I want to thank each
So wait. Someone say, are we going to be voting for Scala? We haven't voted on Scala at all.
You guys didn't like a Scala? Well, I guess it says everything, Layla. You were like, so moving on. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Oh my God, I did. I liked her. I felt like she wasn't giving drama. But yeah, I did like her.
So here's my thing. Do you guys think that she's a good addition, not for the drama, but now that Robyn has moved into mean girl territory, Scala is like that neutral person that can tell everybody about themselves, but still film with everybody. Like, she told Gizelle and Robyn about themselves. She told Wendy, she told Candiace. Or do y'all just like, boring?
I don't think she's telling them about themselves like direct enough. Like, I don't feel like she's been a direct enough with Gizelle and Robyn, who Robyn is allegedly her friend. I don't think she's been direct enough. I don't feel like she's had a moment per se. But I do like her fashion. I think she's a pretty girl. She seems like a fair person, so I do like that. But yeah. So was she a trick or a treat?
Her fashion was a treat. But what we were hearing is that she was going to be a really great replacement for Robyn. So that really was a trick.
Exactly. She got like 10 lines the whole season, so I don't even know where to place her. I'm like, I don't know where to place her.
What do you think? I feel like Marlo has set the bar. For a friend, I feel like Marlo has set the bar.
Yeah. But Marlo was a housewife that they kept in friendship jail for whatever reason. Marlo, in my opinion, should have been a peach holder. Marlo's such a high bar and she's so glamorous. But I don't know. There were scenes just with Scala where I was like, you can actually be that neutral person everybody films with and kind of the nexus of the group. She did check Mia when she told me to shut her ho self up. So, you know, she had a mini moment.
Yeah. So some people are saying we don't know Escala. Some people are saying bring her back. So we'll see. Some people say she was a treat. So we'll see. Yeah, you could tell her man is not feeling the show. And I feel like that might be the biggest thing. Her man, he looked like he don't want to be there. So I don't know if she's coming back next season, but we definitely will see. What are y'all looking forward to for the reunion?
I want to see someone, and maybe it's Nikki, but I would love to see someone hold Ashley accountable and also hold Gizelle's feet to the fire, but in a way that she doesn't just sit there looking like she's uploading, like in a way where
she closes off.
Yes. Yeah. And maybe somebody address the colorism.
They do. Candiace mentioned that on the reunion, they do address the colorism again, but I'm not sure if it's Andy or Nikki leading the conversation, and I don't have that much trust in either one of them addressing colorism. But Kim,
last year it was weird though, with when they said about colorism, and they picked like the 3 lightest cast members to be like, do you think this is colorism? And they were like, absolutely not. And I was like, well, there you have it, guys. We solved it. So
mystery solved.
I'm not sure if first of all, we know that the reunion is going to be 4 parts. It's going to be all of November, so it's going to be encompassing our lives. I don't think it needs 4 parts, and probably the only thing that I'm interested in seeing is the questions that Nikki asked them, because I think she's going to actually go there in comparison to what Andy's going to ask, because Andy's asking about Jamal's tax situation, and we don't care about Jamal's tax situation.
Yeah, Grace, what are your thoughts?
Same here, like both of them saying, like we want like the deeper questions and stuff. We really want to see people's feet held to the fire. For me, it's particularly Gizelle and Robyn. I feel like Robyn especially, she gets to skate by with like all of her little side comments and stuff. And then Gizelle is just outwardly nasty as well. So I would really like to see those 2 girls kind of get it.
Yeah. So we'll be reviewing the reunion. You guys stay tuned. This is a rotating panel. So next week we will be on Kempire's channel. So you guys stay tuned. Monday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank all of you for coming. Tisa Tells was our special guest today. I appreciate you coming to us live while you're on vacation.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
And thank you, Kempire and Grace, for joining me today. Thank you so much, you guys who have commented. I always want to thank my lurkers. I feel like lurkers make my channel, you know, what it is today. So thank you to my lurkers who watched and didn't say anything. But I want to encourage you guys, as we're leaving, to at least leave a thumbs up. Even if you don't leave a comment, leave a thumbs up and let YouTube know that you're feeling this conversation. All right, you guys. So we will see you next week. Bye.